All right, NBA fans and content creators alike, I make these videos for you guys. Okay, this video I'm going to get into is teammates scoring for the all-time greats. Who had good teammates to help them share the scoring load? All right, let me just say this, get it out of the way. Unlike a lot of people that are trying to compare eras and whatnot, you know, do I think that this era is softer than the 90s? Well, it probably is. Some of that's to do with the rules, load managing, whatever. Sure. But I believe every player has to play under the situation, the circumstances that era dictates. Rules, you know, the high salaries, maybe it turns people into prima donnas. You know, they don't want to play back-to-backs. You know, they need to take a game off. They don't want to play the all-star game. They're just out there messing around. You know, all that. It's probably all true. It's part of it. You know, has it made this era soft? It's made the players not be killers. I would say that. You know, I actually had somebody tell me in the comments that there's more contact in this era. And first of all, I don't see how that's true. But even if it is, you're talking about little baby tap contact. I'm not talking about people getting clotheslined, punched, elbowed in the back of the neck. You know, somebody does that today, like Draymond Green, he's suspended for 8 games or 10 games or whatever it is. Back then, you just maybe went to the bench or you maybe didn't, and the other player just shot 2 free throws, and that's how it was. I'm not saying that's better or worse. Again, I'm not going to get into all that. Okay, I'm just saying every era had different circumstances that they had to deal with. Not about better, it's different, okay? That's all it is. Who did the best in their era under those circumstances? Now, some players probably will do better under certain circumstances. You know, like for example, I think LeBron James benefits greatly from this era of players that I see all the time just get out of the way when he drives to the basket. They let him take 4, 5, 6 steps, switch pivot feet. He gets to dribble like this, where he just carries the ball, you know, hit his chest, no big deal. Just keep dribbling around. You could even stop your dribble and dribble again. I've seen him do that before. You know, he benefits from that stuff big time. If he was playing back in the 70s and 80s, he couldn't do that. Now, I'm not saying he couldn't adapt. He probably could have. I don't think he would have been quite as effective. But this is it. He's taking advantage of what's in front of him, like James Harden did when he was winning those scoring titles and that MVP in the late 2010s. You know, flopping, phantom fouls that aren't there, this stuff, that stuff, okay? Yeah, he took advantage of it, though. Hard to knock him for it. You know, you got to blame the league and the refs for that, for not seeing that. And maybe even call a technical on him. Anyway, we're getting into what players did in their own era, their teammate help. The all-time greats I have: Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. Out of those 15 players, 10 of them are almost certainly in everybody's top 10. I've heard a couple other names, but for the most part, these 15 are going to, your top 10 is going to be out of these 15, almost guaranteed. Well, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, it's pretty, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's all the same, you could say, but what I was going to talk about is how many teammates scored, you know, gave them scoring help. Okay, so for example, in Bill Russell's career, he had 50 teammates get him between 30 and 39 points. And he had 5 get him 40 or more. So he had some help there. And this is where I push back on the Wilt Chamberlain thing. It was say that Bill Russell had all this help and all that stuff. Well, I did the research. Blanket statements, again, you think that because Bill Russell had some Hall of Famers, blah, blah, blah. Well, Wilt Chamberlain did too. He had top 75 help. He had Hall of Fame help his whole career. Wilt Chamberlain had 61 teammates get him at least 30 points, 30 to 39 points. He had 10 teammates get him 40 or more. Well, that's some pretty good help, wouldn't you say? Oscar Robertson had 23 teammates get him between 30 and 39. Only one teammate get him 40 or more, and that was Kareem. Kareem, who obviously when you're the focal point, you're not going to have quite as much help, but he had 29 teammates get him 30 or more points. Nobody ever scored 40 or more for Kareem. Magic Johnson had 52 teammates between 30 and 39 points. Only one 40 or more. I'm sure Kareem had a lot to do with that. Larry Bird only had 22 teammates ever get him 30 points or more, and only one 40-point game in the playoffs. I'm strictly talking playoffs here. Only one teammate ever got him 40 or more in the playoffs. Akeem Olajuwon only had 14 teammates get him 30 points in his whole career, and two got him 40 or more. That's not a lot, and that's why I stick up for Akeem a lot, because if he would have been on better teams with better players, you would have saw a lot more championships come his way, more MVPs, more everything. Michael Jordan, in his entire 179-game playoff career, had 6 teammates score between 30 and 39 points. That's it, 6. 40 to 49 points. No teammate ever did that for Michael Jordan. I know he carried a lot of the offensive load. Shaquille O'Neal had 56 teammates get him 30 points, 30 to 39 points. 8 teammates get him 40 or more. I'm sure Kobe scored a lot of that. Dwayne Wade, Penny, whatever. Kobe Bryant had 42 teammates get him between 30 and 39, and 12 teammates between 40 and 49 points. Again, you compare these players to Michael Jordan's measly 6. Tim Duncan had 27 teammates get him 30 to 39, and 3 teammates get him to 40. So that's not a ton, but still decent help there. LeBron James had 34 teammates get him between 30 and 39 points, and 6 between 40 and 49. Kevin Durant, 39 teammates, 30 to 39 points, 8, 40 to 49. Steph Curry has had 31 teammates get in between 30 and 39, and I don't know how many games he's played, but maybe 110, 120, and 5 teammates between 40 and 49 points. So he's had a lot of offensive help too. So I believe that Michael Jordan obviously has had the least amount of scoring help ever. Akeem probably a close second. And yet still his team always did what it did. And I know that you can say, well, he had a lot of defensive help. He did, but only from a couple players. It's not like every position. Tony Kukoc was a liability. John Paxson, B.J. Armstrong. These guys were defensive liabilities. They'd have to try to cover up for them. Team defense. Ron Harper, Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman, of course, Scottie Pippen. Yeah, he had a lot of defensive help. But I'm just talking about scoring help. This is what it looks like. I don't hear anybody talking about it. Again, Michael Jordan, the least amount of help ever. And if you want to get into bench players, how many times did a player come off the bench to give Michael Jordan 20 points in 179 games? 4. And most of those were guys that were starters eventually. John Paxson, I think, did 2 of them. Horace Grant did 1, and I think Tony Kukoc did 1. Horace Grant did, I think, when he was a rookie. That's it. There was only 4 teammates in his whole playoff career that got him 20 points coming off the bench. That's it. For example, LeBron James has 19 teammates in his career. In fact, I think Daniel Gibson alone got him like 5 or 6 20-point games. That 2007 run, all the LeBron fans like to talk about, against the Pistons. Well, in Game 6, LeBron went 3 for 11. Well, Daniel Gibson got him 31 points coming off the bench on 9 shots. The reason they won that. And, LeBron's the reason they were up 3-2. Let's say that. But to clinch Game 6, it was because of Daniel Gibson, not LeBron. And anyway, the 31 points by Gibson on 9 shots, I mean, that's crazy, because if he doesn't get that, then they're probably going to lose that game, and Game 7 would be back in Detroit, and we wouldn't be talking so much about LeBron's historic Eastern Conference Final against Detroit in 2007. So that's all this video is. I just want to talk about the scoring teammates or lack thereof, comparing the all-time greats. As you can see, again, there's one name that always stands out, getting the least amount of help and accomplishing the most with the least. That's it. Until next time.